Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video on my channel. In this video I would like to talk about a few objects that you can observe or photograph in the night sky right now. So in this video I'm planning to go through these different objects. I'm planning to talk about these objects. I'm planning to talk about the equipment I recommend for photographing these objects. So I'm planning to talk about the focal length, for example, and about the exposure time you'll need in order to capture good images of these deep sky objects. So if you're planning to capture deep sky objects this month, but still you're not sure which objects are visible right now or which objects are suitable right now, then this video will be quite helpful to you, because in this video I'll guide you through these different objects. For me personally, right now is the best time to actually do deep sky astrophotography, because there are these long cold winter nights, which means we can collect a very long exposure time in just one night. And on the other hand, there are so many great objects right now in the night sky that you can capture with your telescope or with your lens. The first object is in the Orion constellation. So in the course of this video, you will realize that I'm focusing on the Orion constellation. For sure, I'm also planning to talk about objects that are not in the Orion constellation, but generally speaking, there are a lot of great objects that are visible in the Orion constellation. Some of them are quite famous in the hobby of astrophotography. Some of them are not that well known under astrophotographers. But now let's get started with the very first object. The easiest object that you can capture right now is the Orion Nebula, which lies in the Orion constellation. So it's a very bright nebula in night sky, which means it's especially suitable for beginners. It's not only suitable for beginners, but also professional astrophotographers can capture amazing images of this object, because in this case it is suitable for beginners, but the exposure time is a very important aspect when planning to capture this nebula, and therefore professional astrophotographers can capture amazing results of this nebula, because the exposure time is a very important aspect when photographing this object. When talking about the focal length that is suitable for this object, you can definitely say that you can capture this region with a wide range of equipment, because that really depends on which part of the nebula you would like to focus on, or which region of the constellation you would like to focus on. You can already start with a focal length of 50 millimeters in order to capture a wide field of the night sky, which means you can also capture the Flame and the Horsehead Nebula in your image, and also the Orion Nebula. But you can also use a longer focal length of, let's say, 2000 millimeters, and then you're just focusing on one region of the nebula. But when planning to really capture a good image of the Orion Nebula, so an image with only the Orion Nebula on focal length of, let's say, 400 millimeters is definitely quite nice, but that really depends on the sensor that you're using. The next object I'm planning to talk about is located quite close to the Orion Nebula, and the nebula I'm talking about is called M78. This is a nebula some people do not know about. Still, it's a very well-known object in the hobby of astrophotography, but most people are focusing on other nebulae, and in general speaking, astrophotographers are usually focusing on other nebulae in that region. But this nebula is also a very nice one to capture, because when photographing this nebula, you'll have different colors in your image, which makes it a pretty amazing image in the end. And generally speaking, it's a relatively bright object as well, not as bright as the Orion Nebula, but still you can already achieve good images of this object with a relatively short exposure time. So I've captured this object just a few weeks ago, and so far I've collected a total exposure time of 15 hours, I guess. It's a project that I'm still working on. Perhaps I'll be able to share an image with you in this video if I have finished the project before uploading this video. If not, then I will share the image in the upcoming weeks when finishing this project, because I'm definitely planning to collect a longer exposure time in order to make more structures visible in this image in the end. I've captured this object with a focal length of around 260 millimeters with the ASI 533 MC Pro. Well, there was definitely a very good field of view for this object, so the size is quite comparable to the Orion Nebula, for example. It's a bit smaller, but the region around this nebula is quite interesting, which makes it, in my opinion, a very well-suited object for this month. Another object I'm planning to focus on is an object that is very well known, because it's the Horsehead and the Flame Nebula. It's one of the brightest objects in night sky. It's a bit darker compared to the Orion Nebula, but still it's definitely an easy object to capture as well. When talking about the focal length, I'd recommend to use the exact same focal length as for the Orion Nebula, because both objects are the same actually when it comes to the size in the night sky. The interesting thing about photographing this object is that you can include the Horsehead and the Flame Nebula in one single image, which makes your image definitely quite nice. In this case, as always, a very long exposure time is recommended, but you can as well capture good images or good data with a shorter exposure time of, let's say, 4 hours. So just wanted to mention that in this video. The next object I'm planning to talk about is the Elephant's Trunk Nebula. So the Elephant's Trunk Nebula is a very well-known object as well. Some of you might already have an image of this object, but generally speaking, it's a very interesting object because you can use different focal length for this project, and each different focal length will be interesting because you can use a very wide field telescope and you can capture the entire region of this object, and because there's a lot of H-alpha, there are a lot of H-alpha regions in this region, which makes it a very interesting object. So in this case, it might be helpful for you to use filters, but generally speaking, you can also capture this region without using filters. So I've, for example, captured this region without filters, and so far I've collected exposure time of 15 hours, and hopefully I can finish this project in the upcoming weeks. In this case, you can also use a very long focal length and just focus on the central part of this nebula, which allows you to capture details in this nebula, which is also highly recommended, definitely. So it's definitely a great object. It's definitely a bit more challenging compared to the objects I've mentioned before, because generally speaking, the object is a bit darker, but still, I guess it's an object that is definitely quite amazing to capture. In this case, I recommend to collect an exposure time of at least 4 hours, depending on the filters you're using and depending on the camera that you're using for this project. The next object I'm planning to focus on is the Bubble Nebula. The Bubble Nebula is an object that you can still capture this month. The position is not the best, but still it is an object that is suitable right now, and I've captured this object just a few weeks ago, and it was definitely great photographing this object because it's also quite big, but in this case I'd recommend to use a longer focal length. For sure, that really depends on the field of view we'd like to achieve, because there's a star cluster quite close to the Bubble Nebula, so that really depends on whether you would like to include the star cluster into your final images as well. And just in case you are only planning to focus on the Bubble Nebula, I'd recommend to use a longer focal length of more than 1000 millimeters. I've captured the Bubble Nebula with a focal length of 800 millimeters. It was quite good, but honestly, a longer focal length would be quite great in this case. For sure, as always, it depends on the sensor that you're using for this project. Now let's go over to another object that is an object I have to mention because it's an object that you can capture right now, and it's definitely one of the easiest objects to capture right now, and the object I'm talking about is for sure the Pleiades star cluster. The Pleiades star cluster is one of the easiest objects that you can capture in the night sky, so you can even see the star cluster when looking with your eyes in the night sky, so you can see the stars of the nebula. When taking longer exposure times, you can see the blue nebula surrounding the star cluster. So you can capture great images of this star cluster even with a shorter exposure time of, let's say, 1 hour, but generally speaking, a longer exposure time is definitely recommended. So I'm planning to capture this object in the upcoming weeks. I'm definitely planning to capture an exposure time of 10 hours, I guess. I've captured this object multiple times in the past with different telescopes, different cameras, and generally speaking, every time it's great photographing the star cluster. When talking about the focal length, you can even use a wide field telescope for this project, but you can even use a longer focal length. So I've used a focal length between 260 millimeters and 800 millimeters over the past few years, and this range is definitely quite suitable for this project. If I had to pick a focal length, I'd choose a focal length of 500 millimeters. For sure, as always, it depends on the sensor that you're using, but generally speaking, that's a great focal length for photographing this star cluster in the night sky. The last object I'm focusing on is the California Nebula. The California Nebula is a very well-known object. It's a bit more challenging compared to the objects I've mentioned before, because there's a lot of H-alpha in that object. Therefore, when using a DSLR camera, I highly recommend using an astro-modified DSLR camera. If you're using a dedicated astrophotography camera, that's definitely not a problem. In this case, I'd recommend to collect longer exposure time because it's definitely a bit darker, this object, and generally speaking, filters are highly recommended because there's a lot of H-alpha in that object, and therefore using filters is definitely a big advantage. So I definitely wanted to mention that. So these are the objects I've planned to talk about. For sure, there are also other objects out there, but in this video, I just want to focus on the objects I've captured myself because therefore I do have images of these objects, and generally speaking, these are one of the best objects that you can capture in this month. If you know other objects, so for sure there are other objects, feel free to write them down below in the comments because that will definitely be quite helpful for other astrophotographers as well. So if you have any further questions about these objects, definitely feel free to ask me down below in the comments and I will definitely help you. If you would like to further support me, you can now become a member of my channel. Becoming a member of my channel would really support me, and your support really means a lot to me. If this video was interesting and helpful to you, I would really appreciate a like and a subscription. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, clear skies, Felix.